Jesus tells the story of a man who was robbed, beaten, and left by the side of the road dying. Many people passed him by. Some were too busy, some were too afraid, some too callous to respond. But the Good Samaritan came by, saw the man, bound up his wounds, and brought him help. Jesus tells us that when we help hurting people, we are not just helping them, but in fact we are giving that aid to our Lord Jesus Christ. When we love God, we love God's people. And when we love God's people and care for those in need, we are loving God and serving God. We haven't been in a refugee camp in Kenya and seen a line of straggling people coming in. Some have walked for over a month. Many have buried their children, their relatives, their spouses as they seek help in a camp in this time of famine. Nor have we seen food assistance coming in and tents and shelter to help people survive in this horrific time.
This year, as part of our World Hunger Appeal at Easter Lutheran Church, we are lifting up a special emphasis. This special emphasis is responding to a crisis in the Horn of Africa. Unbelievably, the Horn of Africa has experienced 6 years without rain. 6 years. Can you imagine what that would look like? Riverbeds are dried up, people are famished in an already dry and devastated land. So it's our call, as God's people, to respond to this kind of crisis. We are partnering with Feed My Starving Children to send meals to the Horn of Africa. Feed My Starving Children is committed to responding to this crisis in a big way. And so we ask you to join with us and respond in a big way as Easter Lutheran Church.
The food that we pack at Feed My Starving Children on December 4 and 11 will go to the camps in Kenya and other places to help the victims of this terrible situation in the Horn of Africa.
As God's generous people at Easter Lutheran Church, we are inviting you to respond in a couple of different ways to this crisis in the Horn of Africa. The first thing that you can do is you can give of your time. On December 4th and December 11th, we invite you to come to Feed My Starving Children and join with this community as we pack hundreds of meals for those whose lives are affected by this horrible tragedy. Feed My Starving Children estimates that for every person who packs a meal on December 4th and 11th, it will cost them about $50 to cover the costs. Our goal at Easter is to have 320 people packing meals, which adds up to about $16,000. Think about it this way. If you drive through Starbucks on your way home today and you buy a fancy latte for yourself and for a friend, that's going to cost you about $10. That $10 could buy you 2 cups of coffee, or it could buy meals for children in the Horn of Africa that would feed them for about a month. And if everyone here today gives $10, we could raise about $9,000 in one single Sunday to respond as God's people. Right before Jesus told the story of the Good Samaritan, he made clear what the 2 greatest commandments are that we have from God. Those commandments are to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. As we respond to this crisis in the Horn of Africa, we are responding to God's command to each and every one of us as God's children to give generously to our neighbors, whether they're right next door in Eagan, Minnesota, or whether they're across the world in the Horn of Africa.